Zoe, here we are out on Melbourne's South Wharf Promenade, a beautiful part of Melbourne, and we've even brought the sunshine and the blue skies.
You call
like
this
it?
blue sky?
Well, it is for Melbourne anyway. Well, we've got to be fast because it's only blue skies for about 10 minutes and then the weather's going to change. But what I'm going to make today is the Yakitori chicken.
Right.
And what I've got here is some chicken Marylands, which I've had the bone and the skin taken off them, and I'm going to cut them nice and chunky. What I'm going to get you to do, Zoe, is you've got a couple of garlic cloves there and some ginger and some lime. If you can zest it for me, about 2 garlic cloves, about a tablespoon of ginger, and about half a lime leaf would be perfect. You can see I've got a beautiful piece of Maryland here. The reason I love Maryland for this dish is it's got lots of fat in there and it keeps it nice and moist and juicy when you cook it. And what I'm going to do is throw it into my bowl here. Nice big pieces. You could get this from your butcher or your supermarket will have diced Maryland, but it's much better, I think, to do it yourself.
If you've got the time, you've got the patience, chopping off the bone actually really isn't that hard, and it is definitely a more flavoursome way to eat the meat.
And that took me about a minute and a half, didn't it, Zoe? Now, what I'm going to do now is mix this together. And to flavour it, you've got the ginger, you've got the garlic there and the lime zest. I'm going to put a little bit of mirin in here, which is a sweet Japanese ingredient that just sort of, it's like a rice wine. I'm going to add some sake as well, which is got a bit of alcohol in there. And the sweetness of the mirin and the sake together, I think, will go really well. And a little bit of soy sauce, which will give it some seasoning and a little bit of darkness. And the idea, of course, is to marinate this for a little bit.
Now, can I pop them in there for you?
Throw them straight in there. We'd marinate this for about an hour or so, or overnight would be even better. And what I'll do is just mix it around nice and gently like that. Now, to sweeten it up just a little bit more, I'm going to get you to pass me some of that sugar. So a little sprinkle of that, probably about a tablespoon. I'll just mix that around, and the sugar will dissolve in the liquid straight away. There we go.
So you could use honey or agave if you wanted to drop the glycemic content of it?
Well, I wouldn't worry about the glycemic content, but more the sugar, you know, the sweetness of it. And what I'll do is let that sit there for a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do, Zoe, if we get some of these spring onions here, and I'm just going to cut them into nice, big sort of battens, because I'm going to skewer these up all the way along there. There we go. Now, I've got this plate here. Normally, when you make yakitori chicken, you use little bamboo skewers, but hey, we're in Australia now. We do things big, don't we?
They are some serious skewers. I could almost have a knife fight with you.
We could have a sword fight, couldn't we? There we go. Kids, don't try this at home.
Yes,
there we go.
That's very true.
What you do is grab a few of these spring onions here like this and just shred a few on. This is a great sort of flat skewer. Be careful of the pointy bit. Put a couple on like that, and then what we do is grab some of this chicken here. You can feel it. Your marinade's sort of starting to get in there already, you know?
Definitely. It smells lovely. I can smell the ginger, and I can definitely smell the lime zest in it.
Well, I like the sweetness, but the saltiness of the soy sauce sort of offsets the sweetness a bit. Oh, I wonder who cut this chicken. There we go. That's off there. And all you do is shred it on like this. And as the chicken cooks, it sort of contracts a little bit and becomes nice and tasty on there. And the spring onion in between there also makes it look nice. So you just keep threading it on like this. And it's just a different way of cooking chicken, isn't it? And for me, anything on a skewer or a sword is always going to taste even better. What do you think?
You're a big kid at heart, aren't you?
I know, I can't help it. So just a couple more on this. And I like the spring onions in there as well. I mean, as the spring onion cooks, it gives it flavour. That looks great. That's typical Zoe.
This is the healthy way to do it. Ratio of vegetable matter to protein matter.
What would you put on there? You'd put...
Well, I might put some green capsicum or some Spanish onion. I could put some tofu or exactly the same marinade in there. It'd be delicious.
Great kebabs. I reckon this is about right for me. We'll leave the rest of that chicken in there to marinate. Now, what I'm going to do is put just a tiny bit of salt for some flavour. There we go. A little bit on there like that. Now all we need to do is cook it. Now, you could put some oil on there, but as you can see, the thigh meat of the chicken does have a little bit of fat in it already. And I'm hoping as it cooks, it's going to marinate and baste this as we go. The coals are nice and hot, and you can see I'm using a direct method of cooking on coals, so the coals are all together there. And the beauty of using big skewers like this is you can pop them on and you can control it. Well, the handles of the skewers are way away from the heat, so it stays nice and cool and easy to handle. And every minute or so, we just keep turning it around. And before long, Zoe, we're going to have some beautiful yakitori skewers. OK, Zoe, that didn't take long at all. Look at these beautiful yakitori skewers.
They look delicious.
Nicely caramelised. And yeah, put some lime on it. What do you reckon?
Great.
Squeeze some of that on top, just for an extra bit of zing. And what we'll do is I'll squeeze off some of yours. This is the trick to getting meat off a skewer. You hold the fork like that and push it down. And off it comes.
Such sensible tricks.
Now, Zoe, I'm going to give you a little piece of this. I want you to taste that. Tell me what it's like.
It's really tasty. It's cooked beautifully. I really like the addition of the lime on top.
It gives it a bit of zing. I reckon this is a quick way of doing basically chicken Marylands, which are simple. Everyone's got them, they're cheap, making them look nice and tasty. This looks nice and tasty.